Always look for tactics. This is something I would tell my students if I ever became a chess coach. Okay, so as you notice in this position, we have the white pieces, and this is a game from a FIDE master. It was a blitz game. So yeah, black played g6, simply forking the queen and the knight. This is not the main position, but I just want to show you. So the FIDE master with the white pieces plays knight f6 check, and as you can see, it's forking the king and the rook. But let's forget that. The king has two options. Either it can go to, not there, but it can go to g7 or h8. Okay, the correct option would obviously be to go to h8 because there's no more checks with the knight, especially since knights are quite tricky pieces. And if you don't know how to play against them, you would play king g7, which is what happened in the game. And the reason I put a double question mark is because it's a blunder. It means a blunder. And since the king moved forward, this allows the knight to give a check. It walks into the knight's proximity, if that makes a bit it makes some sense. Because here on e8 it can give a check. Regardless now, if we were to play knight e8, the rook can simply capture. But I'm just making an example. That's why it's always best to move the king away from checks because there's no more checks the knight can give towards the king. Therefore, the sorry, if the king goes to g7, what happened? It walks into the knight's proximity, and it's a blunder because, as you notice, we can give a check on e8. But how do we get the knight to e8? Because if we play knight e8 immediately, we simply lose the knight. But what the FIDE master in this position played was, wow, he played queen takes d7, sacrificing the queen, saying that if why is my voice like this? But saying that if rook takes d7, we have knight e8 check because there's no longer a rook covering the e8 square that was initially protected. So this means it's a fork, and after the king were to move, we simply win and exchange. We gave up a knight and a queen for a rook and a queen. So if you cancel out the queens, that means we gave up, or we exchanged a knight for a rook, meaning we won an exchange. Just some simple mathematics, some fractions if you look at it like that. And the same thing would have happened if queen takes, simply saying it's going to be a trade. We simply capture, and after rook takes, we simply win and exchange as well. Therefore, I want to take you back to the initial position of king g7. Always look for tactics. Because if you look in this position, you might see, okay, I might be attacking the rook, but what else do I have to? Probably have to retreat my queen or something just to get out of danger because g6 is attacking the queen. But if you didn't notice that you could give up the queen and there would be an eventual check on e8 if the rook captures or if the queen captures a simple exchange, then you would have never looked for these tactics. So in games, always be alert because anything can happen, and if you're not ready or if you're not alert, you won't find these cool, brilliant moves. Yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.